What's up, YouTube? This is DEFCON 3 coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. I've been trying to gear away from security because honestly, I have said everything that needs to be said, at least in my humble opinion. Literally, I have put out hundreds and hundreds of videos telling you guys how to be a guard, how to be a better guard, how to better yourself, how to interview, how to make money. If you want to know the answer to how to do any of these things, just go back, look at some of my older videos. But my mantra has always been the same, is pretty repetitive, and it just started to kind of get old after a while. I'm nearly at 5,000 subscribers, but again, it was never about subscribers. It was always about just kind of getting information out there and being a journal of my journey. Some people have asked me, when are you going to start your security business? It's at this juncture, it's pretty clear I don't plan on starting a security company. It's just, gosh, my phone is ringing. What a bad time. Like I said, at this juncture, it's just not really something I want to do. There's too much liability involved, too much organizing and red tape, and if I've got people working for me and they're carrying firearms, just think of the liability if something were to go down. Even if it was justified, you could imagine how much nonsense it would be. So I went another route. I mentioned it in my last few videos. I started up a swimming pool maintenance business, and it does really well. I've got some pretty decent accounts. I've got Mr. Beast, Beast Production. They're one of my accounts, and I've done numerous projects for them, and got the ability to make money, a lot more money than I probably could in security, believe it or not. So when I do things, I don't just do the normal. I do the above normal, and that's how I elevate. And I feel we could elevate in any industry that you are in. There's somebody out there that obviously makes rubber bands for a living, and they've cornered the market, and they are millionaires from just making rubber bands. I don't know that to be true, but in every industry there is somebody that's at the top of it, and they are obviously millionaires in that industry. I do know somebody that sells butterflies for butterfly enclosures, and clearly they are millionaires. I mean, if you look at their website, and things are always sold out. Things that cost $40-50 each are sold out. Oh, this guy's definitely a millionaire. And all he does is sell butterflies. So whatever industry you're in, if you can be the top in that industry, you can make it big. But just to reiterate, for me, making it big is not how much money you make, but rather how much time you have, right? If I'm working 15-hour shifts to be a millionaire, I have no life. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, I digress. I'm just here today to just talk about this assassination attempt. Just my thoughts on it from a security perspective. And I'm no expert, and I know there's a lot of people that, after the fact are just saying things, and of course it's easy to, after the fact, start commentating on something, especially if you've seen everything, in its entirety now. And in this case, I somewhat feel like I have. But here's my thoughts, and this is like Security 101. I'm sure it's Law Enforcement 101, and it's definitely Secret Service 101. To keep a person safe, you have to make sure that their area is safe, right? And it starts off by asking yourself, well, how big is the area that we need to keep safe? Now, if this was an indoor event, let's just say that it goes 300 feet in each direction, you would want to keep that 300 feet in each direction safe. So you have people at 305 feet looking out at the 300 feet and just scanning everything. Now, one person cannot scan an entirety, so you usually give people segments of the pie. So you have one person at an looking at 1/8 of the view and just constantly focusing on that 1/8 of a pie, and then you've got somebody else looking at 1/8 of the pie and 1/8, and you're behind, right? That way you can see everything in front of you. It wouldn't make sense to have somebody in the middle and not be able to see what's going on in behind. Having said that, you have people behind, some people in the middle, and obviously some people in the front observing what's going on. Okay, now in this case, we know a really good sniper can shoot a target at 1,000 yards, between 800 and 1,000 yards. So in this case, you'd want to have somebody at 1,050 yards, right? So you could see everything everything in front of you. Now again, these are just rough estimates. I'm just throwing this out there. So in the case of this shooter, he was able to get to the closest roof to the stage, which, if I'm not mistaken, was hundreds of feet away from the president. We're not talking 1,000 yards. We're talking hundreds of feet away. So he was able to access that roof, which is, it's kind of weird that somebody would be able to set up a ladder and then climb on that roof and then set up a firearm, and it looked pretty elaborate, his setup. He had literally a tripod and everything, and just a ladder. How do you get like a 60-foot ladder without anybody noticing? There was obviously witnesses screaming at law enforcement, hey, there's somebody climbing on a roof. Minutes before the incident happened, they were screaming at Secret Service that, hey, there's somebody climbing on a roof, minutes before the incident went down. But more importantly, this person had time to set up and get there and get into a prone position, and just so close to the stage. I can understand if they were like 1,000 yards out, you know, there would be less of a threat and maybe not so much focus on that roof. But he was the closest roof to the stage, which again was just a couple of 100 feet away. So that was a big failure. I think just the fact that people were yelling for minutes, hey, there's somebody on a roof, there's somebody on a roof, and the fact that nobody paid attention to that or saw that, that's a big failure. Then there's the failure of when the president got hit. The number one objective is to get him to safety, right? When you are delegated the job of watching somebody, your main objective is to get that person to safety. You are in control. Now, I did hear the president scream, I need my shoes, grab my shoes, and they were helping up. Okay, let's get his shoes. At that point, he has no control. I get it. He's the president, you know, of the United States, or the president, running president, I should say. But still, your job is to say, dude, we're going to worry about your shoes later. Let's go. They should have just rushed him off. They should have just sat there and helped him get into his shoes. And I understand he's kind of a controlling guy and he might be intimidating, and they're like, well, they're so used to listening to what he has to say. But when you're doing security, and this is in any capacity, you are always in control. Don't ever let somebody dictate what goes on. I've worked in industries where people are like, okay, well, I'm gonna have a couple of your guys go there, and like we're gonna maybe have one guy there, and I will literally interject and say, yeah, I appreciate the suggestions, but that's not how it's gonna go down. The way I'm gonna do it, since my job is to secure this place, I'm gonna have 3 people up front, 1 person here. That's how it's gonna go. So I dictate what goes on, because my job is to keep the area safe. And if things go bad, it all comes back on me. And I don't want to, you know, be pointing fingers at somebody else and say, well, they told me to do this. So nobody tells you how to do your job in security. I mean, with some exceptions, but for the most part, if your job is to secure something, you use your expertise. Don't let some third-rate store stalker or cashier tell you how to do your job. You don't have to be a jerk about it, but, you know, just make sure you're assertive and you let them know, hey, this is my job. I'll do my job, you do your job. So yeah, they should have rushed him off. There was a lot of times where he was visible. You know, these people that rush him, they have bulletproof vests on, and they are human shields. So they're not just flesh shields. They literally have vests on under their uniforms. So those vests act as deterrents. for any kind of ammunition that might be used to try to hit him. And there were so many opportunities where we saw the president, especially those females that were guarding him, they were like literally below him, and you could see him from like his middle chest up, pumping his fists. So here's the thing, that sniper could have been a distraction while like 6 other people came in and finished the job. So when they were like, the shooter's down, I think they kind of dropped their guards. Okay, well, he's down, good, now we can just take our time getting him to the vehicle. But that could have been a distraction while like 6 other people finished the job. Never assume that there's just one assailant. I got duped before. It was in one of my videos a long time ago that I had to take down because YouTube's funny about that stuff. Somebody was like, hey man, there's somebody literally loading boxes of stuff into a cart in a corner of the store, and yeah, I just observed them doing that, and I ran to the corner of the store not knowing that the person that got me to run in that direction literally was the one who had a cart full of stuff, and then he went out the front door, and I'm over here in the corner of the store like, where's the criminal, where's the thief? And I'm like, oh crap, they got me. And then somebody was like, dude, the dude that just told you to go to the corner store just ran out with a bunch of stuff. And I chased him down, and I did catch him. If you saw that video, I did catch him, but man, I got duped on that one. So don't always assume the obvious. You know, these people that try to do these horrible acts have a lot of time to plan, have a lot of time to think. I'm sure if I got 5 of you viewers together in a room and we had 3 hours to like plan something out, we probably could, because we have a lot of time on our hands. We can plan for a year, right? So don't ever underestimate crooks and criminals, and how they're going to execute their horrendous acts. You know, when somebody robs a bank, trust me, they don't just most of the time they don't just run in there blindly and ask for money. They plan ahead of time, and they think of all the scenarios, and they might have distractions, or anyways, you get the idea. So I do feel there was a failure on a lot of parts, and it's going to come out in the next couple days, couple weeks, maybe in months, of all the failures and the criticisms. But you know, just as guards, always be aware of your environment. Know that whoever wants to do something bad has the upper hand on you, because they react first and you react second. If somebody walks up to you and just pulls out a firearm, it's game over for you. I don't care how fast you can draw or how much kung fu you say you know. If that guy is bent on taking you out, he's gonna win, right? So you always try your best to not be lackadaisical and be proactive. All right. Well, anyways, there's my 2 cents on the whole thing. I thought it appropriate to just kind of come back into security mode and talk about that for a little bit. Otherwise, hey, you guys know the mantra. You know your worth, know your value. Please value your time, and above all, be safe.